Now,
Oh, this one's for Steve.
Don't be like me without
category 1, category 4. Category.
That's hard to remember that.
Well,
It'll only take a couple posts.
Okay, so the reason I wanted to have this meeting mostly was the new obligation rules that Corey sent me 2 weeks ago from Treasury concerning obligation of ARPA funds. Previously, it was,
They've changed now?
yes, it was our understanding, Ginger and I, that if you did revenue replacement, the same deadlines
Apply.
didn't really apply, that
So we'd already spent it essentially, right?
Yeah,
Revenue replacement,
exactly.
we would-
And as they were obligated, we did have them all set out and put in, these job codes. That this counted and was fine. From what you sent me though, they were saying, nope, just joking, all your money needs to be sent by the end of the year or in a contract. We can't tell specifically what contract means.
Not in the budget.
It just can't be like this. So
Let's get, I'm gonna get into the weeds here a little bit. You guys may not know. Do you know if under these new regulations of which were promulgated, there is a definitional section which defines contract?
well, that was one of my first questions too, that we put that kind of to Mako, because brought up several things right away of concern. The Three Rivers contract that we're gonna try to talk about, that's small potatoes and hopefully can get paid out. The bigger things is the Cottage 5 project. I don't have a contract myself. And just a few other things. But the big one is Cottage 5. I reached out to Department of Commerce. They won't have the list of the ranking of who gets the funding for the historic preservation grant available till November. So if we get it, that's fine. We can quick contract for this, that, and the next thing. Kind of jumping out
And
over
this
here,
money has to be spent by the end of the year?
or contracted. And we don't know what that means, contract, yes.
Mako will be at the convention next week, and I just talked to Nancy, she's gonna be there presenting specific to these things. So there should be more guidance.
Because we're not the only county that
Let's
used,
just change the rules in the middle. of the
yeah,
year.
we're not the only ones that used ARPA funding for this historic preservation grant. So they've had several people reach out to them saying, we really need to know what the ranking is because our match is being held for these big projects. So in our case, we have this amount at the bottom here being held for Cottage 5 based on the second page. Is everything, when we did the pro forma from the feasibility study, I broke down every single thing that could possibly be Jefferson County's obligation, and wasn't covered by a historic tax credit or by the grant itself. So I line itemed everything out, followed up really thoroughly, and this is what we ended up with for our grant. And so that is why we have that amount kind of held as the match. So,
To 389
yeah,
or the 394, which is.
yeah, 394. These other things are just like projects we're working on, and they will be paid out by the end of the year. So just get all those things wrapped up. These yellow, blue, these are just outstanding projects we're working on right now. And they're small, they'll be finished. I've already talked to Lee about getting me his invoices by September. Three Rivers, we're gonna prepay the $9,500. Steve and I have talked briefly about just modifying the contract, and they are fine with getting money up front. Public health money is kind of sitting there waiting for Cottage 5, like that's part of this obligation here. And of course, Great West is another one I don't know. I know they're on like a retainer.
Go for the.
Yes, so either we need to put like an amount in a contract to them, that goes back to what Ginger will have to find out, like, how do we prepay them for the work that they're doing on their ARPA funds?
Okay.
But I'm sure that's all figure outable for Great
Yep.
West in the next 2 months. And so, yeah, that's kind of where we're at with that. You bet.
On the broadband as an example, where it's in the, is that a negative
At 2,800.
Yeah, that's mostly just shuffling. We can shuffle.
Gonna overspend. the-
Yeah, we can shuffle some of this from economic support up here, and that's mostly, in fact, I was gonna ask Ginger, did the old salt check show up? Okay, because we have 15,000 coming back from them, and I was just gonna have them throw it in this infrastructure
They
category.
didn't,
to
they didn't
cover.
spend our money.
They end up moving
The Helena.
to Helena,
Mhm.
so they're just giving it back to
Go in and
us.
pay $25.95 per pound for New York strip, if you care to.
Wow.
Yeah, they bought the old Silver City Saloon or something on the way out to Marysville, I guess.
I thought they were downtown Helena.
They're
They're in
a
Gardner,
lot of
yeah.
restaurants,
They're in
but
the
they're
old Gardner.
packing plant and
Oh,
facility.
they're slaughterhouse type thing.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what we'd given
Well,
money.
way
for,
out
the
there.
slaughter.
So
Yeah, that's a, well, there's nothing out there.
there is nothing out there.
No. So they had room to build corrals and no zoning out there,
Yeah, you can shoot animals out there.
yeah. So anyway,
Bring the little kids for a field trip on slaughter day.
There you go.
it just ended up being a better, what they could get figured out, I guess. So they're just giving that money back to us.
Well, that's good.
So we'll just put it in here into the broadband infrastructure category when it shows up.
Are we able to pay your salary into JLDC?
Yes.
Prepaid?
Well, I don't know. So that's something, so if we get the MHPG grant, then I'll have lots of work to do because that will be a large grant and all that renovation stuff. If I don't, you guys might want to use the money to just have me be done also at the end of December, and you could use the money for whatever else you need to quick do with that money. There's a couple options.
Pretty short time frame.
Yeah.
Trying to spend $400,000.
No, we can spend.
But it could be done, yeah.
We got loans we can pay off for sure.
The money for the Clancy Community Center, does that include their roof?
They already paid for the repairs from money they fundraised for. It would end up being not that much money, 2,900 bucks.
Maybe.
Yeah, they just replaced around the skylights and got it figured out and did the roofer guy replaced some different caulking
Is
here
it?
and there.
Right. I
Yeah.
thought they said 50,000.
That's one bit they got. And then we had two other roofing companies come in. Oh, you
Somebody
could do
rip
this.
us off. Huh?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
No.
So I did tell Mickey that she needs
No,
to get
that-
her floor in before the end of the year and someone paid. So that's
Wow.
out the door. Yeah,
Whoops, they've got other things they need to do in that building.
they do.
That west wall and that sidewalk, they should
Yeah.
remove that and
There's a lot of exterior side.
that wall, yeah.
They're looking for some money for a Brownsfield grant. Do you know anything about that?
It's for the,
Well, they were getting that on the old gym.
No.
this is
This
for
is on
the
the building?
Clancy School in the basement.
This is the basement, yeah, it's like a
Brownsfield, are they?
$50,000.
No? Okay, that'd be great.
But there was a match that they weren't sure they could pay for, so I don't know if we can use ARPA money for
probably
that
could.
match.
We could quick do it before then beer. But, yeah, it actually wasn't too bad. I read the report for the basement. It was some asbestos, so weird for like a countertop that needs torn out, some weird stuff on the stairs. Just some asbestos and hazardous paint stuff, but it wasn't that bad. considering
No,
that
it's not,
building
it's
is
not
so
real
old.
bad, but.
Yeah.
We've been keeping the public out of there, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't let. people
Isn't there
hang
mold down there too?
Yeah. But that would be taken care
We
of
could
with all this
potentially-
stuff that they're trying to remove, I think, so.
Yeah. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be considering,
Anytime you hear asbestos.
or just basements or.
Well, the
creepy in
wall,
general.
the basement wall leaks, you know, it's a.
So you gotta get that fixed before the.
It's an old
you're never gonna
stone
get
wall,
the mold
so.
out.
I might get you in the conversation
Okay.
between Headwaters and it must be the Old Mid School Health Committee or whatever that's trying to get this
Yeah,
thing
and,
done.
the railroad, what's his name? The Missoula Railroad here.
Stromeyer? Talking
No.
about the,
No.
Oh,
Denny Washington.
Washington.
His company was trying to get some money too.
oh,
Well, he's not short on cash.
Get some money or give some money?
Get some money, I think they were involved in some,
Yeah, cause he and Phyllis have that foundation.
but I think they were trying to get that grant to get that done, but.
Well, they hired that attorney that used to work for the AG. You know, he works for Washington now.
Oh, he ran for AG.
But it was like a $10,000 match on that, and the committee only has like 11 grand in their bank account, so it would like wipe them out. But they weren't sure if it was gonna cost this or that, it was kind of a big iffy thing, and they weren't sure if they would have the extra money to get it done, so. But if we got a little extra money in ARPA and that will cover them, then we can probably move forward.
Yeah,
with
with
it.
that, return of that 15,000,
2,000 back.
we could
yeah.
easily do the 10,000 match.
Okay, I'll get you in that conversation.
Okay, yeah,
Figure
that'd
that
be
out,
great.
'cause that'd be a good thing to get done.
John.
Yeah.
This is just good with B. If we get on that B,
Benyon?
Benyon.
Benyon, he's involved with the schoolhouse somehow.
That's,
Yeah, he works in
he's
Washington.
Washington, yeah, he's Benny Washington, so,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Well, add it to my.
he got me involved in the discussion and I got you involved in it.
He's got a house in Red Cliff,
Mhm.
he and his family.
Yeah, he lives in Jefferson County, Clancy,
Did he run for AG or something?
Yeah.
he's a good hand.
Mhm.
I asked him how much he thought he was gonna spend running for AG. And he said $250,000.
Yeah.
I don't want, I'll jump on it.
High flyers.
Yeah.
Okay,
So, any other, well, we went over that very briefly. Tennis courts, we've already paid the high school, 64,000, that's the estimate to now move to a 3-court. I'm getting bids hopefully this week on what that'll cost, because I'd like it to be done this fall. So does the high school. Everyone's really eager. So been hounding them. Rattlesnake Ridge, the survey is done. I haven't seen an invoice for it yet.
No, that should be coming soon. We just got notice, or just, I think he's ready to put the final Mylars, just need some, affidavits from, we need to have the official sign the affidavit, and then, Bob Hart sign the affidavit, and then we have to, I just have to see about the deed, but, I could probably get an idea of the invoice amount at this point.
Because then we'll know how much we can spend on like some fencing contracts or just work around the area. Which I think we could get all that done before the end of the year. Lights for the fairground are actually, that invoice is actually to you, I think. Should have maybe been signed today. That $2,500, so that's good. Nice and bright out there. Saddle Mountain, I'm getting bids right now for basketball hoops. Which are
Where were
surprisingly
those lights at?
expensive. The fairgrounds,
we're at though,
the rodeo arena.
in the rodeo, yeah, I think we saw that, Clay.
Yeah, last week.
Yeah, oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
The fair board paid part of it and the rodeo
Real
board
close.
paid part of it, and this was the
Yeah.
rest of it,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say 2,500 for lights. Seemed kind of cheap.
yeah,
Oh,
They would think it was around
10,000.
10,000.
It's gonna be fabulous, yeah.
yeah, will be great.
Big LED lights, they should.
Yeah.
Did you see them?
I did, they're real bright.
They're good.
They're really
Okay.
good. And then for Saddle Mountain, I'm getting basketball hoop estimates. They'll probably be around $5,000, surprisingly.
Wow.
For basketball hoops that go in the ground. I was shocked.
$5,000.
Yeah, I'm hoping the playground guy.
Just
from-
for the,
just
just for
two
the,
hoops.
the bar and the backboard and the net.
Yeah, I'm trying to work with
Oh,
the
I thought this was like the
Montana
whole-
company. Yeah, to maybe see if we can loop up another like playground merry-go-round or a swing or something also and get a little bit of a discount on the basketball hoops and just add a few more things to the park. But I was really surprised by how much basketball hoops cost.
Anything playground is expensive.
Yeah, I don't understand, but I was shocked.
It's a racket.
It really is a racket. So the rest of those funds will
Until we-
probably just go to
until we
some
can
sort of
find
playground
one and move
equipment
it.
and basketball hoops. For Saddle Mountain, so I hope that's okay, but there's,
For that kind of money, we can afford to move one from some other school or something.
I've kind of tried to ask around, I tried to steal the ones from the tennis courts down here at the by the high school. I've been trying to look for some excess ones, but I'm not really finding much.
If you figure
So-
$2,500 a piece, that's probably not real bad. It's still pretty expensive. but
Yeah.
If they're good ones. I mean,
Yeah,
kids
and
aren't
we're
gonna
trying to get the
break
heavy duty ones so kids can't hang on them and just break them right off the
Right.
bat, which is what happened with the little ones that are there. They're just too chintzy. So they should have been heavy duty, like talking like the jail
Yeah,
style.
like 300-pound kids hanging on.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm trying to get, and they are kind of pricey.
They do, I don't know.
They do somehow. And then the Whitehall pool, I'm waiting, like maybe $600 in tables coming in still. I don't have an exact amount there, but then all that money will be spent out.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll just, I don't know,
It's come down to this. huh?
just comes down to like November. If we get that $500,000 for the grant, then we can go forward. On the second page here, the things that we could go forward with fairly fast to spend that money is the part two of that application, National Park Service application is $20,000. You could quick do the ADA concrete ramp, or at least get a contractor lined up. You could work on the parking lot. You could remove the trees, lilacs, demo the weird outdoor, buy some doors. Buy some stuff for the reception room, quick do the plumbing demo. That'll probably end up being more than $2,500, frankly. Solar system is just, that doesn't matter. I don't know. That's just part of the feasibility plan. It may or may not be what we go with when we pick out a heating system. That's something I feel like the contractor would have to handle. But that's just from the feasibility for right now. Immunization room setup, 90,000. We could quick buy the new cabinets, the large industrial fridge and whatever. Fairly probably fast, cash wise. So.
And anything we would spend on these items would count toward match on a grant.
Yes, yeah.
How much is that total?
Yeah.
We could probably.
Oh, yeah, we had a little extra sloughage in here just for these other projects in case. we're
Don't
going-
get me started.
Another $250,000 into it or so. Yeah. Probably so.
And then one more thing before I forget, Battle Mountain, their other public meetings are coming up. One's on the 12th at 6:30 and the other one's on the 14th.
And I will not be in attendance.
Okay,
I live up there.
okay.
Parks Trail, you've got two people up
Well,
there hanging out at Parks
they're
Trail.
both up there.
Yes, yeah, just
so-
on site at the park.
Lee,
And then the little committee
120.
people will be there
And then
too. It's
go
just
to
for
the-
people to come and look
Yeah,
at
I think.
the gazebo that's been fixed. We're gonna,
Right, she's.
Oh, just kind of view what's,
yeah, and then there's a map that we printed of the area that shows how could potentially trails be lined up to go to BLM and then go down to the dump to make like a circle for potential future hiking trails. Just talk about, getting new basketball hoops and maybe trying to find some volunteers that want to mow in the future, that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, cause it's.
Amy
kinda
T
one-time
Garden's kind of
money.
heading up that.
Hopefully they know this is one-time money and it's.
They
not gonna
do.
be Like yearly.
Yes.
Maintenance the county's throwing in.
Originally thought maybe we
That
could
would
do
stop
2
the
more
budget.
years with before the obligation rules. We thought maybe we can mow for 2 more years, but like now that that's changing, we won't be able to.
On the broadband side, is Lee good keeping up and really should be?
Oh, gosh.
She's dragging.
He's dragging, but I told him September 30th is your deadline and that's it, or I'm not paying you for anything. So.
Right.
It's like,
So, just quick note.
yeah,
on
I don't know
this.
how you want it modified.
Well,
Look it up or however you want it.
well, I can type up some language. Probably what we'll do is, but this contract thing has piqued my interest just from, I guess, a processing standpoint. We don't know if, like, say for this, if something can be considered under contract to be paid out over a certain number of years or a certain number of months, if that is acceptable under the new rules, or if it is not acceptable. Because a couple of things, I always am a bit hesitant to prepay on things. When you have a contract like this, it says, you're gonna pay us X amount per year, and this is what we're going to do for that money. Because, not that I expect Three Rivers to go out of business. But you can get a change of management or something like that. They may want to start messing with this, and if they're sitting there, sitting on our cash. Then. It can just create problems, so. If potential problems, if we are assured that allocated money that is to be paid over a certain period of time under a contract for the performance of a particular duty is acceptable. I'd kind of like to have that answer before we made a
Yeah.
change to this.
I mean, on one hand, we already paid him $40,000 for the 20-year lease. So that's our big bulk of the money. And then this was only $9,500 and $500 yearly maintenance. So I hope that they can keep going 20 years or they'd be in violation of our contract
Right.
already.
Well, and if they go, the bottom line is that they go belly up,
Yeah,
you know. We're not gonna be the only ones that are gonna be.
no, that'd be so many people probably. Because I feel like they have a
But
zillion of
we would-
these contracts everywhere.
If we decide to move forward with this now, all we need to do is do and just basically prepare an addendum to this contract. I don't want to go back and monkey with this thing.
Okay,
I think 2 points need to be made in it. First of all, that we're paying the money up front for purposes of them providing maintenance for a certain period of time. And secondly, that Three Rivers has an obligation to continue with that maintenance. And if certain circumstances dictate that they can no longer do that for whatever reason, then they have to refund us a pro rata share of what has not been used.
for the whole chunk, you think, for the original?
Well, you'd have to look at the lease agreement to see what language it said. This would be specific to.
This was the dark fiber.
Because the 40,000 was for what, install?
No, just the lease of the fiber that's already there to
Okay.
be leased to Jefferson County.
Yeah, 42 fund time fee. You're probably gonna have a hard time since we didn't ask for that up front.
Get on the
lease.
back.
Three Rivers is gonna say, why should I do that? And legally, I don't think we can force them to.
But we could we on the 9,500?
Yeah, because we're prepaying that
Okay,
if they're
you
agreeable.
get me something, I'll get them to sign it too, and then we could just get that paid to them.
But, so back to your position, have we talked to JLDC about you, I mean, I don't know if there's any projects that you can work on for the remainder of this fund, or is that just a conversation we have to have, or?
Well, if Cottage 5 goes through, I'll have tons to work on, but don't, then those are kind of the options. You take my money and do something else, or you guys have me apply for other grants. Or work on other grant packages of different things. I mean, I know there's lots of other grants in the
That might be
world for
something to
different
talk to
things.
the Board about, the GLDC board about, is their opinion on if we can keep her busy, if everything falls through, if they wanna keep her on, or,
Correct. I mean, I'd like to keep her on, so,
I'm sure.
so I think we could work a way around it, but yeah, I think we need to bring it to the board.
Okay.
And then what is that contract? I mean, we just don't know what style of contract and
And
the
when, and that
treasury.
means next week, are you guys gonna?
You
figure
sent
it out?
this to me.
Yeah,
You know.
make a little, or certain for the convention, make those to be there and discussing the new ruling.
There's
So
a
then
lot
we'll
of,
have
a
a-
lot of counties opted for the revenue replacement, thinking that it'd be better to just have things obligated in their own type of accounting
Okay.
rather than. And that's what they were, you guys were encouraged to do,
Right,
is my understanding,
Yep.
so.
So we should know next week if we have to have all of this contracted out, or if you guys are gonna spend it by the end of the year, correct?
I think we have to spend it by the end of the year.
Well, we probably don't really know all this stuff till about November, when that lease comes out.
I don't think we have a choice.
Spend it, take it back, return it,
Kind of the way,
take it back.
that
Okay.
Well, we could
thing you
set
said
some
to me
back,
was.
lower that $35 trillion debt we hit yesterday.
The,
Local
LACP
tribal,
app,
yeah,
that for.
local assistance.
what is it, 900,000?
Yeah.
That's not,
Yeah.
does not need to be obligated.
Okay, that one can sit there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Which one?
the local assistance one, I kind of after COVID, that almost $1 million that we kind of earmarked for the health department. It doesn't have to be obligated by the end of the year.
No, it doesn't have to be obligated, period, right? So
Right, I
that's-
think
that's
it- I
free
think-
money,
We're just sitting on.
and I'm not sure it's gonna be available for the Cottage Bayou either project yet, but.
Well, we'll talk about that when we, I guess, in
Well,
November.
we don't know until
Yeah.
we get done here. We don't know
What's the
where,
potential?
where we're gonna be in our budget.
Right. yeah, but-
That's cash to us that may have to go into the budget, you know?
Okay,
Oh,
And I've been trying to make that point all along.
no, here in a week or so.
Yeah.
Thanks, lady.
You bet.
I'd be surprised if it's gonna be available.
Let us know how your conference goes.
Thank you, Molly.
Okay.
I'm gonna need.
Get your report to
One-time
Pam.
stopgap,
Hmm?
one-time stopgap.
Is this everything